Hey everyone, I'm Jackie Denise, and today's guest is known as the No BS Medium, and she earned that title. Barbara Banner doesn't predict your future or tell you what you want to hear. Her work is about truth, accountability, and empowering people to trust themselves, not depend on a reading. This isn't a mystical performance, it's a grounded, honest conversation about spirit, discernment, and what real clarity actually looks like. Please welcome Barbara Banner. So, Barbara, you describe yourself as a no BS medium. What does that actually mean in practice?
I don't try to sugarcoat things. I always ask them, "You wanna hear what I get, or, do you want me to, smooth it?" No, I wanna hear absolutely everything, just everything that you hear, we wanna know. So don't just let it go. And, I sorta cut to the chase. A lot of times, when you go to a reading, they'll say, "All right, well, let's just see who comes." Well, I don't wanna waste your time if Aunt Lulabelle from 1829 shows up and you don't know her. So
Yeah.
I do ask my clients, "Who is the person you really came here to see the most?" And, we'll have some other time at the end for some drive-bys, but for the main person and what is their relationship to you? And boom, we just off we go to the races.
Oh, wow. That's so interesting. So, what boundaries do you set to protect people emotionally when they come to see you at their most vulnerable?
I don't have any boundaries for anybody else. I can't put anything around them. So far, we haven't had any spirits that were like mean spirited, if I could say that. They seem to all be pretty good, except there was a serial killer a couple years back, but that's gone. So,
There's a serial killer that came through?
yeah,
Oh, geez.
yeah. But all the girls in the development circle, they did some juju and he left. So it was
Okay.
fine. Real
o-
sage. They were good. Good
Okay.
to go.
Okay. I won't go there then.
Okay.
So, before you became a medium, what did you feel like? And your career, your beliefs, your view of reality?
I was a marketing advertising maven for 35 years. I thought I was the luckiest person in the world to be doing something so creative. I loved it. But I always wanted to do some volunteering and something that I could roll up my sleeves, not just write a check.
Yeah.
So, and I didn't have a lot of signs from anything. I did tell my friends when I was in about 13 that I thought I was a witch. I didn't know what anything else was because I felt something going on, but it didn't come to me, for another like 35 years. So these volunteer jobs were, I was a counselor on a women's crisis hotline. So I got a lot of experience with therapists and so much training, and then I've been at Cedars emergency room, which I think I have a little adrenaline addiction. And that's also wonderful to experience. And then the coup de grace was my journey with the crisis response team,
Mhm.
where I was sent out on like a scene where there was a dead body and the police were there and the coroner. And then the family shows up or
Yeah.
the witness who was traumatized. And my job was just to be with them and, try to get them through the worst day of their life.
Oh my goodness.
So,
Yeah, I can imagine.
yeah.
So, was there a single moment in your life when you felt like your life split into the before and after this ability happened?
Yeah. As soon as I saw my father on my first meditation, I had never even meditated before I took Suzanne Giesman's class. As soon as I saw him, first time meditating, I thought, "This is something special. Okay, I can't wait." And I got goosebumps right now because my father, he knows that, we looked at each other.
Yeah.
So it was amazing. And it just gave me so much energy and hope. And I was so excited that, oh my God, I've got this journey. And it was fabulous.
So who was the
I think
hardest
that
person to tell about this ability that you had?
who was the first, I didn't know it until I took a class. And then I had it. It was just about immediate. It was like, okay, somebody unscrewed the jar and it came out. But I was told afterwards, after I said, "Look, it only took me 7 months to hang a shingle." I was told by other channelers that you've been doing this for like centuries. So you hit the ground running, lady. So
Oh.
that's
So when this started first, did you ever try to shut it down?
no, I thought it was fun. I've always been interested. since I was like 13 in paranormal stuff. They had all these shows with ghosts, and I saw
Yeah.
those movies, and Sylvia Brown was the woman of the day. I even bought her book. I bought a book of hers when I was like 14. So I was
Oh,
into it.
yeah.
And ghost stuff, I found it fascinating. And I loved the Long Island medium. Okay, just love that. I think she's the best. Because she makes me laugh.
So when you're having one of these sessions with people, what's the kind of information that comes through that makes people say, "There's no way that you could have known that"?
Well, I do have a few little anecdotes up my sleeve. It's really hard when you have somebody who's a non-believer and you open up the Zoom and it's like this, and I say, "Ay, ay, ay," with a smile. And so I had a woman, and she didn't want to say yes to anything, and everything. She gave me a grade like I was at the Olympics, and she's like giving me a 7 or a 3, and just saying, "You could have found that in the newspaper," or that's normal. And by the way, what pajamas was I wearing last night? I said, "I don't know. I don't know."
Yeah.
I felt like I was, gonna be graded at the Olympics, but I knew I wasn't going on the podium. Okay, there was no way. So I ended that shortly. And I felt bad, but I knew I had her husband. He had taken his own life. And I let her know 2 days later. I said, "Look, your husband paid me a visit around 3:30 in the morning. And spirit knows if you're gonna come with something good, you can wake me up. If not, you just wait till the next day." And he showed me a half a bagel toasted with the center scooped out. You know how women do
Yeah.
that to, save 4 calories and then stuff it with 1,000 calories? That's what it looked like. So I said, "Look, your husband showed me this bagel." I said, "Does this mean anything to you?" She was mad. She goes, Why are you calling me with this? This is ridiculous." "No, of course not. A scoop bagel doesn't mean anything to me." I said, "Okay, just be aware." Several days later, she had gone to see his parents, her in-laws, and she said, "You're not going to believe this, but my father-in-law said, I invented a product." He was very proud, and he goes, "And I have a prototype, and I'm going to see if you understand what it is." So she looks at this contraption. She goes, "I'm sorry, I have absolutely no idea what that is." He said, "It's a bagel scooper." So they all collapse laughing, crying, understanding that you can't make this
No,
stuff up.
no.
They were so excited that they knew that their son, his conscious mind was still, his consciousness was still alive. He was there. He woke me up. He showed me. He was there with them when they invented it, and around them. It opened up their whole world.
That's
Now the
amazing.
woman is into all sorts of things. She's getting a lot of signs, and now
Well, yeah, well, that's a
she's
validating moment that no one can deny in the family.
nobody can deny it.
Yeah.
It's silly. I had another one which was made me. I have a soft spot in my heart for kids. A woman's 6-year-old son had passed, and in my readings, I always do a question and answer period. But the first one, I sort of hijack the question. I said, "I don't want to know what the question is. You come up with a question, say it to your son telepathically, and I will tell you what he shows me." They love this part. It's
Yeah.
really fun. So I said, "Your son is showing me that he's on the back of a butterfly, giant butterfly in heaven, and he's dive bombing and he's having the best time of his life." And I said, "Does that make any sense to the question you asked?" She said, "You have no idea." And she started crying. I
Yeah.
said, "What was the question?" She said, "What is my son doing in heaven right now?" And she said, "After he passed, I bought a book, a children's book that was to how to tell like a little sister about death and what their brothers are going to be doing on the other side, just to soften it and to
Yeah.
tell them the right way." And she pulls out a picture in the book, and it has a picture of a little boy riding on the back of a butterfly, giant butterfly in heaven. How can you make that up? Do you know how profound that was for her?
I can only imagine. Oh my god, my hair on my arms just stood up.
I know. I
Uh,
even have the picture of a little
oh
boy on the butterfly. She sent me a picture as well.
my goodness. Oh,
Same thing I saw. So she understood, maybe for the first time, that he's still here.
yeah,
He hasn't left you. He is by your side. He's putting things in your head, like, ask her about what I did in heaven, okay?
so
He was there when she read his little sister a book about his passing.
do you think that that's what people misunderstand the most about life after death, that they're okay, that they're still with us?
Most people, if when I say, "Do you have a question?" So many, unless they're really aware and spiritual and know already, they say, "Is he okay? Is he in pain? You know, he has legs amputated here." I said, "He's golfing right now." Okay. She said, "He always wanted to golf." They always want to know and they want to hear it. They want to hear it. And they show me what they're doing. I mean, they're all doing something to help others, but anything they're curious about, they can find out about. They want to read 1,000 books, they can probably do it in an hour. They just boom, boom, boom. They don't have time there.
Yeah.
So they can do anything. And I tell them, I said, your son is on a skateboard going around the rings of Saturn. And she said, he didn't even skateboard here. This was another woman who was
Right.
giving me trouble.
Yeah.
And then 5 minutes later, she goes, he always wanted to skateboard. I said, that's the point. He gets to do whatever he wants.
Oh,
And when they understand that, and I said it, and they're always next to you, they're always by you. And other loved ones, they're not leaving you to do this life alone. They're here to guide you and put things in your head
good
and
thing.
help you.
Yeah.
Good thing. Oh, yeah.
So do spirits know that they've passed, that they died? Is there awareness to that?
Yes, depending on, some of them are little confused, maybe depending on how they passed. But and a few spirits do, who are really worried about the family and if they're going to be okay. Sometimes they could stick around a little, but most people just they transition and they just come down after. But most go right up, and they've got somebody guiding them. I say, who's the woman, with straight gray hair,
Yeah.
and long dark fingernails sitting on the edge of his bed. I said, she's got a nose ring too. She said, that's my sister-in-law. Okay.
Oh,
So I said, she's bringing him up. They're going to go together. He's having the best time.
oh,
So don't worry about it.
I'm listening to this and it's fascinating to me. It really, really is.
Jackie, it's fascinating to me too. Every reading is fascinating. There's no two alike. There's some things that ring true with many clients. And that's when they have unfinished business with a mother or father who maybe mistreated them or they didn't have a great relationship. Those kind of things, because of my background, I can dig in and go into some of the things that they had to endure have left them scarred.
Yeah.
And we try to go over that. Your mother grew up like that. She didn't grow up with a kissy, huggy mom who, took her to ballet class. It wasn't like that. And so that's all they know. You model, you treat your children how you were taught, unless you are one of the strong ones that they all pray for, the buck stops here. I will never do that to my child. She will have 1,000 kisses a day, if one. And that's what all of them are hoping, that they've done something right where that daughter says, never, I'll never spank my kid.
To break that generational.
To break the chain, you've got to break that generational DNA that slips through.
Yeah. So let me ask you another question. Why do you think electronics, music, and some symbols show up so often in spirit communications?
Asking me easy questions, lady. Okay.
Okay. I guess I'm going to come up with something hard.
Once we unzip our human body, it's got all the crap in it.
Yeah.
It's if you've been sick or you've got mental issues, it's all gone. And we're pure energy. We're pure energy on the other side. You know, you hear you can't get rid of energy. It's just going to come in a different form. So we're all energy. That's the easiest thing for them to do is to flicker a light or, or put on a light when you walk into the bathroom every night.
Yeah.
I didn't do that, but turn off a TV. My mother-in-law was turning off my daughter's TV, and I brought her in and I said, "Why are you doing that?" She said, "I don't like what she's watching." I said, "Sydney, what the heck are you watching?" She said, South Park and those kind of things. I said,
Yeah.
"Well, grandma doesn't approve of that. I'm sorry. So change your show or you're going to get that." So they can change the radio station. People are listening to country and
Yeah.
a rock and roll song comes on that was their husband's favorite.
Yeah.
And I said, "I'm not surprised." And I always tell people if they hear a song or something when they get home, Google it. Google the lyrics because it's a message for you. There's a message in there for you. If a book falls on the floor while you're walking by the bookshelf, pick it up
Yeah.
and just open it up to a page and read those 2 pages. There's a message in there for you, okay? There's messages everywhere. If a van pulls up to you at a red light and you've got a terrible headache or you just, and it just says, like Tylenol, the Tylenol van or something. They're there for you.
Huh. So,
And they're sending you messages all the time. And things are easy for them, like dropping a feather on you. Okay. That's
yeah.
that's not tough. Or butterflies or any kind of insect that has a very simple neurological spine. They can get into their heads and say, "Go circles around my mom." Okay. Just fly around her in circles. Or,
Really?
oh yeah. Oh,
Oh,
yeah. And if you're not aware, if you just think, couldn't be. I told a woman, "Butterflies, your son is going to show you butterflies." And she goes, "Well, there were some butterflies following me around the other day, and one of them was flying back and forth in front of me." I said, "And you're telling me you didn't really see any butterflies? What did you think it was?"
yeah.
He said, "I thought it might be butterfly migration time or butterfly mating season." I said, "So you screwed up a really lovely sign from your son with some cockamamie thing that you put between them." That's what they have to start trusting.
But
They have to
most
start
people,
believing.
true, but most people don't understand the clear signs that are available to them. Most people don't have that awareness, right?
Well, I say if somebody close to you passes, go look up what are the signs because they're all trying to get to you. I mean, I've seen someone saying, "Lucy, it's me. Lucy, it's me." That that the
Yeah.
husband and
Yeah.
spirit trying to get in there. I They just say the craziest things. I did a woman and a man whose son passed,
Yeah.
and I gave them wonderful information. They were so excited. And at the very end, she said, "Can you give me one more? Just like, let's end it on something really crazy." And I said, "All right," I talked to this son. He said, "Go into the refrigerator." And she said, "Really?" So she goes into the refrigerator and he said, "You need more cottage cheese." She said, "We eat cottage cheese every day." We are like, "That's our staple." She goes, "I don't know if I need." So she opens it up and it's almost gone. How did he know? How did he know? He's
Exactly.
with you. He's with you.
Yeah. Yeah. So let me ask you another question. Is it easy to become a medium? Is it easy? I know that you say spirits and family members that have passed are all around you all the time. And I believe you suggested it's just as easy as speaking to them, right? But now communicating with them is another matter, I would think.
Yeah,
How
they can speak to them. Yeah. Here it is. Like anything, how much do you want to put into it? Everybody has the ability. Everyone has a soul, and that's all you need. That's the only tool you need, really. Then you got to figure out how to make it work for you. So you have to take some classes. It's just, some people are born with it and that your cousin is talking to some, the imaginary friend. Well, it's probably not really imaginary. Or saying, grandma's on the edge of the bed every night, mom, okay? She's so those are few and far between as opposed to just normal people who wanna do it, and I would think that most of the people who sign up for a class,
Yes.
they have somebody that passed and they really wanna be able to connect. And it's patience and it's practice. And some of the good things are there's lots of places that you can train or you can go to practice with other mediums, and you can sign up for them all day,
Yeah.
where you read them and they read you. You'll find out everything. They'll be just say, "Bring my brother over, okay? He just left." And you'll get a million readings for free, and you'll be able to swap readings with someone else. So you better be pretty good or you're going to be embarrassed.
Oh my goodness. So
Just got to work at it. You got to practice.
yeah,
That's
yeah,
all.
yeah. Like everything else, I guess, right? It takes practice.
Unless you are
Time.
one of those. You know how a little boy who's like 4 has never played the piano and someone's there humming a song and all of a sudden the kid plays it?
Yes.
Everybody can learn how to play the piano, but not everyone's gonna be Mozart, and that kid might have been Mozart, okay? So there's those special ones that have been talking to ghosts and spirit for a long time, but those are pretty rare.
So what do people tell you, Barbara, after they've met with you? Tell you that they've experienced or remember even weeks or months after working with you?
Well, I like to keep in touch with everybody. I'm not one of these one and done kind of things. In fact, at the end of my session, I give them an exercise I do with them so that they can understand that their loved one is around them. And if it works for them, if they follow instructions, then they're going to okay, I'll do it with you. All right, I'm going to count to 3 and then you are going to tell me the first thing or item that comes into your head. 1, 2, 3. What is it, Jackie?
First thing,
Don't think.
my laptop.
What did you say?
Laptop.
A laptop, a computer.
Yeah.
Okay. So within the next week, you're gonna see or have something that has to do with a computer that in a place that you have no idea. Okay, this is not any place that you're expecting it. It's out of the blue, you know,
Okay.
it's not gonna be normal. All right? Let me just tell you, give you one example.
Okay. And what will
Uh
that represent when I see this?
that will show you that your father put that laptop into your head because he knew where and when you were going to see a laptop in a place that it doesn't belong. Okay?
Okay.
That's giving you proof that he's around you because they put things in our head. I had someone, I said, "What is it?" She goes, an elephant. And she
Yeah.
goes, "That's a crummy one." Okay. She goes, "Where am I going to see an elephant that's not in the right place?"
Yeah.
She gets back to me. She sends me this picture. She said, "I took my son mini golfing 3 days after we had our thing. And look what was in on
Oh, the
one of
elephant. Yes.
a giant
Wolf.
20-foot
Yes.
elephant at the mini golf that you have to hit
Yes.
the ball through."
Oh my
This is the
goodness.
kind of crazy stuff that can come through that. This is even
Okay.
crazier. I had a woman and I said, What is it?" She goes, a wrench. My husband loved wrenches. So she wanted to send me a picture of her husband. And on it was like a band. Google puts like a band with a Google logo. She goes, "Blow up the Google logo."
Oh, the wrench.
A
The
wrench in a
oh,
Google logo. That doesn't happen in
it
real
doesn't.
life.
It doesn't. Oh my goodness.
So
That
these things give you hope. They make you believe. I can bring a lot of things up, but when they understand that they can do all that, and when I say they're around you, so talk to them.
so for me, in my case, where my father hasn't passed, it could be an older male or a male
Anybody,
in my
anybody.
family trying to communicate with me and give me signals and say, "Hey, right? Listen up.
Yes.
Be more aware."
Yeah, and they're there to help you, but you do have to ask. They can't just come in and feng shui your living room, okay, because they don't like the positioning. You have to ask for help and ask for guidance and just talk to them like they're there because they are, okay?
So
And
after
they will help you. You got a team on the other side just
just
trying to
willing to
help you and
step
make your
in
life
anytime and help.
totally. And sometimes you don't feel them. Sometimes you don't feel them. And that's when somebody loses hope. I have a client who comes to me every year because that are after her husband died. And she's always trying to test me, and we don't like that. But anyway, this time she goes, "You tell me he's around me all the time. I haven't felt him in 6 months. I don't know if he's got another woman on the other side.
It
Okay, so I don't need this kind of guilt. Okay." So she goes, "If he's really around me, he's gonna know what TV show I binged during the pandemic." Do you think I thought I'm gonna get that information?
uh,
Uh-uh. Anyway, so the husband and I are very close. We like each other. And he said, "It's Outlander." So I said, "It's Outlander." She goes, "Yeah, it was." She
really?
goes, "Do you have any idea how wonderful you've made me feel? Because now I know he really is here with me, even if I can't feel him at the time. Maybe I'm so depressed that the vibration is too low
Yeah.
for him to really get through. And because the higher the vibration, the path is clearer. The path is much clearer."
Yeah, the validation. Well, that brings me to my last question. When people cross over, what do they say happiness actually is? And what did they misunderstand while they were alive about happiness?
Why do you think there's a misconception? It's, well, first of all, it's much more, it's like 100 times deeper and brighter on the other side. Like, we don't really know the kind of intensity of love that they feel on the other side. It's really magnified. All we have when we go there are memories. We're not taking anything physical. We can't. But you can manifest anything. You want to live in a mansion? Be my guest. So it's really important that we have good priorities here because, some people, well, I really want that sports car, but we want to go to Hawaii, the family and bring the grandkids. Go to Hawaii. You're going to be just doting over those memories so long when you could already have a Ferrari when you get there by blinking your eyes. Put your priorities, help others, do things for others. People learn that the hard way, that if they're selfish here, because if you don't learn a lesson that's on your sheet that you've got to learn this lesson while you're here, when you come back next time, you got to take the class over
Again and again and again until you get it right.
again and again and again and again. And the thing is, we don't know what the class is because we get wiped clean. We can't come down here knowing anything that we've already agreed that's going to happen and all the lessons. Because as Dolores Cannon says, it's not a test if you know what the questions are. It has to be from your soul.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, wow. What a great interview and a great way to end this interview. Barbara Banner, where can people reach you?
They can reach me on my website, bannermedium.com, BANNERMEDIUM. And it's got info on me and it's got wonderful testimonials, and you can book on there. And it also has some little snippets of really funny things that happen in some of my readings that'll get you all jacked up. And then I have like TikTok and I have Facebook and I have Instagram with lots of little, 10-second, 20-second videos of some things that are sort of can be like mind blowing or just make you laugh.
Oh my goodness. I think we do need a laugh every now and then. So thank you so
Let me tell you something about
yeah.
laughter.
Yes.
15 minutes of laughter equals 2 hours of restorative sleep. All your loved one wants from you is for you to learn to laugh again and to have joy in your life. That's all they want. That's it.
Yeah.
And to do good for others. That's all they care about.
Ah, thank you very much today for the wonderful interview. I am sure that you've helped many, many people. Thank you so much, Barbara.
It is such a pleasure to spread the word, have joy in this life. That's all your loved ones want you to do.
Agree. Thank you again.
Thank you.
Barbara, thank you for such an honest and grounded conversation. What stands out most is your reminder that true spiritual work isn't about fear or dependency. It's about clarity, responsibility, and trusting yourself. And for my listeners, if this conversation resonated with you and you want to learn more about Barbara's work, please see her information linked below. And as always, thank you for being here on Different Facets of Happiness. Keep asking the better questions and keep choosing truth over comfort. I'm Jackie Denise. Also, please like, comment, and subscribe. Thanks again for listening. Be well and take care.